Hey guys, sorry about the delay here. We're going to start it up and then we will drive over to the spot where I typically do my live Q&A. So be patient. It's going to be worth it. First I have to unlock the car. That's step one. Okay. It can fit in your standard single spot garage, so that's one good thing to know. No one asked that question. Alright, Christina's going to open up the door. Maybe. The car has locked itself again. Alright, gotta unlock it again. It's really fun stuff. Because I don't know where the unlock button is in the cabin, so I'm doing it with the key. No? Still not going? Okay, figure it out. Join me in the SVJ Roadster. And there's nowhere to put anything, so I don't even have a spot to put the key. Door goes down. Put it in reverse by pressing this button here. Christina puts on her seatbelts. I help? Nope, I don't help. She's got it. She doesn't need me. She's a strong, independent woman. In a $662,000 supercar. Gotta unfold the mirrors as well. Safety first. And then to go into first gear to move forward. Pull the paddle. There is no D drive button or anything like that. There isn't even a park button, there's just the E button driving. Unlike some other Lamborghinis though, the steering wheel, or sorry, the turn signal indicators aren't here on the steering wheel. There is actually a stalk. I'm gonna make sure the nose is raised. Yes, the hydraulic lift on the nose is raised, so I'm not too concerned about scraping on this. I can't see a thing. Someone asked Christina to look over her shoulder to make sure that I'm clear. I'm clear. Visibility sucks in this car, but who cares? All right, I'm just driving in Strata mode right now. We may drive a little more later, but for now we're just gonna get to our spot. We'll just drive first. So let's go into sport mode. Press the buttons here. You've got Strata, which is kind of your cruising mode, Sport, Corsa, your race mode, and then Ego, which I love, which is your individual mode. That's when you can recalibrate the steering, suspension, and all that independently from other settings. So, but in sport mode, the 7-speed single clutch transmission is kind of a pain in the butt when you're going slowly. So we're gonna be done going slowly and we're just gonna go fast. And that was a person riding his bicycle across a red. And so this is why you pay attention when you're behind the wheel of a car. But it sounds good, right? Oh, I hope you heard the kickback of that exhaust. Oh, the sun's coming out too. Perfect. Drove this car in the rain by accident the other night, which I'll put the POV drive for that, the night POV drive with the rain. And it stopped being fun after about 5 minutes. That's the sound of a naturally aspirated V12. A relative relic in the time we're in. Naturally aspirated engines are just going away, and especially high displacement 12-cylinder naturally aspirated engines are going away. This thing is a dinosaur. But I'm so glad it's still around. So yeah, as I was mentioning, it's a 7-speed single clutch automated manual gearbox. It's kind of like outdated technology by today's standards. They're all dual clutches now. And what you get with the dual clutch is not only quicker shifts typically, but more daily driver usability. So if you leave the transmission in automatic mode, so I'll do that. We'll go to Strada for a second. If you leave it in automatic mode, it's so disjointed with the way it changes gear. It literally lurches you forward and backward. And Lamborghini, in typical Lamborghini Italian fashion, says that's to make you feel like you're connected with the car. It's kicking like a bull. Well, I'm going to call bull on that because I don't actually feel like it's useful when you're driving around town slowly. It's more annoying. But when you're in Strada when you're in Sport or Corsa and you want that thrill, yes, it does definitely feel like a bull is kicking you right in the head when you change gears, because it is a serious slam back in the seat every time you change gears. But yeah, so that's my little rant about the transmission. The visibility I already mentioned is awful. So at 6 feet tall and in my driving position, I have the seat all the way back and I'm sitting straight up and I see this much of what's going on ahead of me. So what I have to do is slouch down like this, and that really compromises my lumbar support, so I'm really uncomfortable right now. So I have to sit like this, and that's how I see more of the windshield, and therefore I can see the red light in front of me. I wouldn't otherwise be able to see that because I'm sitting like this. I just see pillar. So that's kind of frustrating, but visibility, who cares? People are going to be looking out for you. You're in a neon green Lamborghini. People will be seeing you before you see them, so hopefully no one will hit you. Other small complaints is the fact that this infotainment is super outdated, so it doesn't have things like Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It's really slow to respond. Yes, it's touch. Actually, no, it's not touch. It is not a touch screen. That's how outdated it is. You have to control it by this little wheel down here, and you have some modes. It does have navigation, but who cares? So those are all the complaints out of the way. Everything else is fantastic. This car is incredible. And it being the SVJ Roadster means there's only 800 in production. In fact, the coolest part is that this is the first of 800. This is one D800, Italian, one of 800 being produced. So this is the first SVJ Roadster that they made. And it's a treat to be able to drive it. And it's so green. So green. Oh boy. Well, I think that's going to probably do it for the driving. So we'll flip back around, we'll go to the parking lot, and we'll get to some of those questions. It's so funny, you literally can't even hear the turn signal. Yeah, the rest of the car is so loud, you can't hear anything. Even the fans, when the fans kick on and you're sitting at idle, it's so loud. You see what I mean about just lurching you back every time you shift gear. And because I'm forced to sit up so high, all of my head is getting all the wind right now. So literally sitting up straight, I'm just getting so much wind. Blow dry your hair. It's the benefit of the Lamborghini Roadster. Alright, so we are going to punch it again, so why not? Go to Sport, click it down a couple gears, and press the throttle. Oh my god. Every time I hear that exhaust, I think of like an X-Wing in Star Wars shooting down a TIE fighter. It's the nerdiest thing, but I feel like I hear that every time I hear the exhaust. And a red line of 8,500 RPM is a wonderful thing. You feel like, oh, I need to shift. Nope, just keep running it out. 8,500 RPM. Oh man. The standard sports car, by comparison, red lines are on 6,500. So you've got 2,000 extra RPM to push it before you have to change gear. Oh my gosh. Oh, the cacophony of noise. That's so loud. It's so loud. I hope you can hear it. The suspension's pretty firm. I'll put it that way. Pretty darn firm. Oh, it's a crazy thing. And I've used like 2 bars out of 12 of my fuel tank already. I think someone asked in the comments questions. I can answer this right now because I remember it. How quickly will it run out of a full tank of fuel at full throttle? Because they're relating it to the Bugatti Veyron, where if it's doing, oh, this is another thing I hate. It just goes into neutral, and I haven't done anything. It just shifted into neutral. So if you forget, you're just gonna be sitting there revving until you shift into first gear. That aside, so they're relating it to the Veyron, the Bugatti Veyron, that at full throttle will run out of full tank of gas in 12 minutes. This would probably be pretty darn close because I've driven it not that much. And I already drained the tank once, had to fill it up, and I'm down to half. I've used a tank and a half of fuel, and I've driven maybe 70 miles, 60 miles, and not all of them that aggressive. So it runs through gas so fast. I don't have a stat on how quickly it'll go through a full tank at full throttle, but it's gonna be pretty fast. The fuel economy sucks. I think the APA ratings are 9 city. It went into neutral again. I already shifted first, went into neutral. 9 city, 15 highway, and 11 combined. So bad. I'm trying to think some of the other questions, but Christina could probably ask me while we're sitting here. Nope.
Nope, there's some on YouTube.
Okay.
All right, so we have Aggie Kuhn saying it's his dream car.
Yeah.
And then Yuri is back on. Hello.
Hey, Yuri.
Aggie Kuhn, hello. Okay, and then Gustavo's on. Let's see. Let me get to some questions. Andrew Parker. Hi, Miles. I see you have the new company car.
Yes.
That's good.
The MilesPerHr. That was good. Very good. The brand new MilesPerHr company car.
I wish.
We're doing so well these days, and we're just. Christina gets a. What are you gonna get? You're gonna get the rolls. I'll get the Lamborghini.
I don't want the rolls.
Oh, she wants the rolls. Never mind.
I don't.
Doesn't like the suspension. How stiff it is.
From Nazir Williams, does the tech feel dated? You mentioned that already.
Yeah, it does feel dated. The digital instrument cluster, cool, but it doesn't change at all when you go into different drive modes, unlike the Lamborghini Huracan, where when you change between Strada and Sport, it shifts the look of the instrument cluster, and then Corsa shifts the look yet again. This one just stays the same, and I already mentioned the infotainment sucks.
Okay, someone asked, how does it feel when you immediately floor it?
Like all of the air is sucked out of your lungs in an instant. That's how it feels.
Okay, that was from Sarah Ross.
Good question.
And then,
you hear these fans? How loud are these fans right now? All right, let's get out.
Okay.
Show the car. There's no cool way to get in or out of this car, by the way. Like, you hope that the car is cool enough that it really doesn't matter how you look when you're getting in and out of it, because...
That's pretty smooth.
Oh, that was pretty smooth. I'm impressed. Yeah.
Okay, so we have...
I did text you some questions. Oh, guess they didn't come through. I feel really bad because there were some good questions.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Well, let me check. Well, what were you going to say?
I texted you some questions. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Let's go to the other side.
Aleem750 says you should make a POV video with that thing. You did.
I did, and it will be up. So I made a POV night drive, and I have to do the POV day drive, but it will be done probably today, maybe tomorrow morning. But me publishing those, I've got some backlog content, so I have some other vehicles, including the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, that I need to get up on the channel first, and then I will get into this. But don't worry, it's coming. At least you've got this live Q&A to tide you over until then.
Okay, from AA, hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, this might be a good time to just, my spiel, my typical spiel. Okay, I'll make it fast, Christina says.
No.
Oh, I don't know, she's complaining today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would love if you subscribe and tell your friends, please, please, please. I definitely want to grow this channel and share all of the daily videos of all the cool cars that I get to drive. I feel so fortunate to get to do my job, but I want to share it with people. So if you can subscribe and share the channel with someone, I'd really appreciate it. If you feel compelled to support the channel, you're my hero, and there are a couple of different ways you can do that. We've got MilesPerHr t-shirts and mugs and random stuff, and then we also have a Patreon account where you can do a monthly contribution, and I don't care if it's $1. If it could be less, I would be fine with that. It's more just like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you, what you're doing. So that's...
And thanks to Blake.
Oh, yes, and Blake Swan. I'm so sorry it took this long to get to this part. I'm sure he was watching up until now. Blake's been so loyal as a subscriber and commenter and engaging, and he became a patron this past week, and I'm so thankful. Thank you, Blake, for your support, and more good stuff for you and for everyone else who subscribes. So thank you, Blake.
Okay. Jordan, Herman, oh man, this thing changes my mind about my Hellcat.
I mean, the Hellcat's, don't get me wrong, the Hellcat's awesome. This is awesome in a completely different way. Both great cars. I would love both, but great in different ways.
Okay, from Sarah Ross.
Let's do a sweep of the car.
Is it different hearing in real life or same as it sounds on the phone, like that bass that hits your lungs?
Oh, yeah. That's a great question. That's a really good question. So I have heard it on like videos and things like that, and I will say the way it reverberates through your body is different than what you hear even with 3D audio or whatever. It's different than what you hear via a device. It shakes you to the core, and you feel giddy and you have butterflies, and so yes, it's different in person, I would say that, but you can get pretty close with the way we have audio these days.
Okay.
Did any other questions come through? Do you want to check again?
Doesn't mean first of 100, by the way. That's what Alim is saying. We know, but it's 1 of 100.
One of, yeah 800.
Yeah. Okay. What do you prefer, Lamborghini or Ferrari?
Ooh, Lamborghini. I mean, that's gut response right there. I love Ferraris, and they're wonderful driving vehicles, but they don't fill you with excitement, don't fill me with excitement, rather, like this car does, or like other Lamborghini products do. This one just, it gets me all excited. It gets people excited when they look at it. Ferraris, yes, they draw attention, but these cars are just so wild. They don't look like anything else that you see on a daily basis, especially the SVJ. And so, yeah, I'm going to say Lamborghini.
Okay, from Juan Tamino Lems, how do you get to drive an SVJ?
You get to drive an SVJ by working really hard and by creating relationships with automakers over the years. So I didn't get to start out driving SVJs. I started out driving like Honda Civics. Those were the cars I was loaned. In fact, the first car I was loaned was a Honda Civic. But I created relationships with automakers over the years as a journalist, and I kept putting out content that they appreciated, and sometimes there was content they didn't appreciate when I critiqued a car that they didn't like that. But you have to respect the fact that I am assessing these cars as a journalist with the intent of providing valuable information to consumers. And so by doing that for a number of years, I developed relationships, Lamborghini, among others, and finally got to drive these cars as of like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. How can a car look this stunning? Straight pipe.
Great question. Some really talented exterior designers at Lamborghini. That's precisely how. But I could never create something like this. Let's put it that way.
How long does it take to empty the fuel tank at full speed?
Okay, so yeah,
the Veyron takes 12 minutes. Oh
no,
the Veyron takes 12 minutes.
Yeah, but who's
from Mazda 738731.
Okay, so that was, I just want to give credit for that question. I already answered that question. Goes through fuel very quickly, but giving credit for that question.
Okay. How is the driving feel versus the Huracan Evo Spider? Is it worth the huge premium? From Neil Solanki.
Great question. So how is the driving experience compared to the Huracan Evo Spider? This is just more of everything. The Huracan Evo Spider is a wonderful car, and the tech is more up to date in that car, and I would say the ride is more refined in that car. This is more of everything. It's more of the theater. naturally aspirated V12 versus naturally aspirated V10. This has an additional 100 and something horsepower, 759 versus 631 in the Huracan Evo Spider. It's just more of everything. And the look, it's a bigger car and it takes up more of the road. It has more presence on the road. More people look at you. So everything is just dialed up in this car. And the fact that it is just sort of like the last of the Aventadors before they get on to whatever their next flagship model is going to be is very special. So I would say all of those things combined, it is kind of worth it. And this has the ALA Aerodynamic Lamborghini Attiva. It's a process of aerodynamic manipulation that they use on this car that they used on the Huracan Performante. And I first drove the Huracan Performante in Italy, and it was incredible getting that same experience. And that's the reason why this car in coupe form has the lap record at the Nürburgring. It's because of that system and how they're able to manipulate the airflow. So all those things combined make it, to me, worth it over the Huracan Evo. Let's show more of the car. Let's show the interior more.
Okay, are you going to drive it from Julius Dixon? We just did.
Just did, and yes, if you're asking about the POV drive videos, yes, we'll definitely be getting those out soon. What do you guys think of the paint job? What do you think of the Verde Scandal paint job? It's $14,800, this paint job, and then it's mimicked in the interior, which, do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it weird? Oh, hang on. No. Orientation is locked. Well, that's fun.
Other way.
Up.
Other way.
There we go. Let's try that. Okay, figured it out.
Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, so what do you think about the paint job? That's my question for you guys.
No response yet. Miles per hour from Dasher to
No response.
Jordan Sun the third.
At miles per hour. So top speed in this one is 217 miles an hour, which is nuts. But I'll tell you what, if you took off that, well, no, actually it doesn't matter because of the ALA system. It will mitigate the effects of the wing by pushing air over the top of the wing and kind of making it so it's not even there. That's one of the benefits of ALA. So it's either optimized for drag, reducing drag, or for creating downforce. So 217 top speed, which is impressive for a car with a fixed wing. Thankful to ALA for that.
Okay.
Oh, more sun. You can see the paint.
Is it true that the seats are as uncomfortable as cardboard? And how does it feel compared to the regular Aventador when you aren't on the track? From Timothy L.
All great questions. Yes, the seats are horribly uncomfortable. That's the answer. I mean, they're not that uncomfortable if you're seated. If you're seated normally in them, they're bucketed and they support your body ergonomically. But the way I have to sit to be able to see in the car, they become very uncomfortable. So I showed you, I had to scrunch down, and then I have no lumbar support, and they're just made of carbon fiber. You can see the carbon fiber here. So there's not really a ton of padding. There's a little bit of padding, but there's not much. And so yes, they're horribly uncomfortable. But how does it compare to the standard Aventador? When you aren't on the track, I love that question, because on a track, that's what this car is optimized for. You can see by the fire extinguisher. That's what the car is optimized for track driving. But, oh, you didn't show the fire extinguisher. Oh, she did. She did. Yeah, so not on the track, you're not really going to tell much of a difference. The Aventador S with 730 horsepower is only like 29 horsepower less than this. And it's got four-wheel steering. It sounds ridiculous because it has the same engine. You're not really going to tell much of a difference on track. And they look closely the same. You know, this one has the giant wing. It's got the huge cannon exhaust. And it's got extra carbon fiber bits and SVJ badging. So it looks a little different than the regular Aventador. But for the most part, the differences on road are not going to be as dramatic. If you get this on a racetrack, you will really start to feel the differences. If you're going to track this all the time, I would definitely say get the coupe version, not the Roadster, because the Roadster adds 110 pounds to the coupe. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, back to YouTube question.
Oh yeah, to ask the questions early, follow on Instagram at MilesPerHr, and I now have a TikTok account. Same thing at MilesPerHr.
Okay. I think someone wants you to turn it on again.
Yeah, I think so. I was just thinking that. Beat me to the punch.
Okay.
Sorry, Christina. Christina's
Yeah,
deaf
that
now.
was actually very unpleasant. I jumped up.
That
Oh
was-
my gosh.
That was very unpleasant.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, Christina's deaf now.
Oh my gosh, the smell and the wind. Wow. Okay. Well, try that, kids. Okay. Sorry guys, I have to scroll through here to find where I left off.
But if you do the super chat, another plug, if you do a super chat, your comment will stay highlighted. And so you won't have to do this in case that we miss your question.
Alright. OBX something keeps thinking this Lambo is rubbish.
Oh, disagree.
Okay, have your opinion.
Everyone have their opinion.
Okay, from Dougie. Hi, Dougie. Thanks for
Hi,
joining.
Dougie. Thanks for coming
Okay. How fast is Lambo? You said it.
Yeah, so let's scan around again. 0 to 60 is 2.9 seconds, so a tenth of a second slower than the coupe version of this. But the top speed is 217 miles an hour, which I think is about the same as the coupe. I may be off on that, but 217 miles an hour is the top speed. So very fast is the short answer to that question.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm 6 feet tall, so I would say anyone taller than me is really gonna have a hard time in this car. As is, I have a hard time because I've kind of switched down to see under the windshield crossbar. It's made for Italian men.
From Andre, how is it to drive Italian exotic car? Good? Haha, big chat.
It's very good. It's very good. It's a wonderful feeling. I feel very blessed to be able to do this, and yeah, and I never want to take it for granted. So keep me honest if I'm ever getting crazy with it. As is, it's hard to go straight like Rolls-Royce and Lamborghini back to back. It's kind of dizzying my head a little bit, and I wish I had like some more normal car in between. But I have the Camry next, so that's more normal. Oh, Christina's sad. Christina
Okay.
likes these cars.
How is visibility with lane change from Michael G?
Awful. I can't see anything over my right shoulder. My left shoulder is okay, but over my right shoulder, all I see is this giant thing right there. So if I have a passenger, I see their head. If I don't have a passenger, I just see that huge pillar right there. So that's all for structural reinforcement to make sure that if you roll, you're not going to die. But, but it sucks. Visibility absolutely sucks.
Well, I'm 5'9".
If you can even hear it.
I'm 5'9". Can't
Oh.
ruin this.
And it's back.
Okay. Once again, I'm 5'9", and this is what
That's like
I
at
see.
eye level for her.
That would be okay for me,
Yeah.
but I would still have trouble seeing the lights.
Yeah. Oh, here, well, no one's asked about this yet, but the roof panels are these carbon fiber pieces that are stowed right now in the front trunk. So we'll see the roof. They only weigh 26 pounds, which is pretty amazing. Both of them stow right here in the front trunk. Jacket not included. And this setup, I actually had to look up how they install in here because it took me like 5 minutes to figure out. I get that there's number codes, but deciding how the actual pieces go in there and then lock into place is kind of annoying. So I had to look it up. But fortunately, there was a video from Shmee that told me how to do that. But yeah, they still right there in the front trunk. But as you can see, nothing else can fit. A poofy jacket can fit, but that's about it. So you lose all of your cargo capacity when you have to put the roof panels in there. And annoyingly, again, this is the track-oriented car, but annoyingly, if it starts to rain like it did on me the other day, then you're gonna have to pull over, get the roof panels out of the front trunk, and individually install them on the car, one at a time, and by that time, the car will be drenched. So, not the most practical solution. This car isn't about practicality though, it's about being awesome.
Okay. Funny comment from MilesPerHr, never sell one to someone with a wig. That's true.
That's a great comment.
Okay. Getting back into...
Yes, the old men who've got the toupees, not the car for you. You're gonna have to be like this the whole time, maybe like super glue it to your head. It still won't stay.
Okay, from Twitch, BlitzKid27, this or a Huracan for the money?
So here's the problem with asking me that question. I can't fathom having this much money to be able to buy this car. So yes, on paper, a Huracan will be half the price of this car right here. This is $662 as tested. It starts at $572 for the SVJ Roadster. The Huracan Evo starts at like, what was the car I had? The car I tested was $330,000, but it starts at like high twos. I can't even fathom that much money, so I wouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, obviously this is way too much money, but the $290-something thousand Huracan is much more affordable, therefore so much car for the money.
Okay, but pretend you can afford it.
Okay, Christina's getting tired of my rant. Pretending I have the money, why wouldn't I spend the extra money on a car that's this awesome? The naturally aspirated V12, the ALA system, the wings, the look, like, it's just that cool. So yes, I would spend the money on it if I had ridiculous resources.
Okay, from Jermaine Rayford, is the exhaust stopped?
Yes, it is a stock exhaust system. That's the sound that Lamborghini makes. An aftermarket exhaust system on this car wouldn't make any sense. Like, it really wouldn't. I know people have straight piped their NA V12, V10 Huracans. Okay, I don't want to go deaf. It's already stupid loud, as you can hear. This is just sitting here in idle. I revved it already a little bit.
Okay, here we already asked, or we already mentioned the seat.
Oh, I appreciate the support. Okay, sorry, but I appreciate the support. It's bright now.
Yes, the seats are hard.
Yes, very hard. Carbon fiber. Little padding.
Sorry, Frantic. I'm not sure what you mean by why not in 4K.
Oh, well, I didn't. You can't shoot these videos in 4K. All live videos are shot at whatever resolution is available. Right now, it's probably 1080. It sometimes dips down to 720, which sucks, but that's what you get for shooting a video live. We don't have control over that.
From Dayton, I heard the transmission from the Aventador is rough. Is it true?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is rough. If you want to see how rough it is or hear me rant about it more, watch the beginning of this video as I'm driving it, because the single-speed automatic gearbox, automated manual it's rough. You said it. That's the word for it. It's not daily drivable comfort.
All right, thanks for joining. Aorta. Julius Dixon is asking if you can rev it.
If I can rev it, I'll do it one more time. Christina's going to be a little off to the side this time. Oh, yeah, stand further back, too. Because you'll be able to hear it. Stand further back, seriously. There you go. I don't want you to go down. Yeah. I neither want the cops called nor you to go deaf, so that's probably the last time I'm going to rev it in this video.
Okay. From Dorkin, that car is amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, from Ellie 750, have you noticed the cup holders
one cup holder. It's right here. You'll see it on the photo. But right now it's holding my garage door opener, so it's super not practical. But that's the only cup holder.
Oh, I guess he's saying there's netted worms here. Like there's netted.
Oh, I see that. Wow. Look at that. So you can't fold the seat for it because it's carbon fiber, so it's a single piece of carbon fiber. But I can slide it forward, and you're absolutely right. There is actually a netted piece back here. One single netted piece. That's a great question. I probably should. I don't have it with me.
Oh.
Christina has an average water bottle for our test. Let's see if an average water bottle fits. Yes. There you go. Standard water bottle test passed. And I know it'll fit in there too. Alright, let's go to the front one more time. Probably wrap it up with any last questions. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Okay. Down. Does it corner good? I heard Lambos are not good on track from Christogenos Egg.
Oh man, have to definitely disagree with that sentiment. It corners amazingly well. There's a reason why this car, the coupe version of this car, has the lap record at the Nürburgring, and it's the Nürburgring, for any of you who don't know, is effectively the proving ground for sports car. It is arguably the most technically difficult road course on the planet. So a car being able to go around the Nürburgring quickly means that pretty much in any given situation, the car will handle really, really well. This being the fastest around that car, around that track, with all the other cars, McLarens, Ferraris, whatever, Porsches that go around that track, and this is the fastest at this given time, that says something. That says that it handles extremely well. And so much of that is due to, one, the four-wheel steering system, the all-wheel drive system, and the ALA system. So the active aerodynamics that I mentioned before, all of those make it such that it handles extremely well. The best right now.
From JK, show the motor.
The motor, I can't, so I can show you what it looks like through a tiny window, but I don't have the keys. You need keys to unlock each of these two panels and lift this. Lamborghini did not provide me with those keys, so I can just show you the NA V12 from here. Just through that window, gets just a glimpse of it. It shows the cylinder count as well. 1, 12, 4, 9, 2, 11, 6, 7.
Alright. And H. Thomas, thanks for coming in. See.
Yeah.
Okay. From Uri, which tires does it have? And I want to see the carbon strip.
Oh, good call. Okay, so let's look at that. So these are staggered 20-inch one, 20-inch front, 21-inch rear wheels. These aren't the stock wheels. These are, they are stock wheels, but they're wheel option that we're getting here. And they are wrapped in Pirelli P0 Corsa R tires. So the Trofeo Rs are, I think, maybe even one more aggressive level than the Corsa Rs. But they are 255 section front, 355 section rear. So that is so wide at the rear. And these are the standard carbon ceramic brakes. So if you get the SVJ Roadster or Coupe, you get carbon ceramic brakes, 6-piston front, 4-piston rear, 15.7-inch rotors in the front, massive rotors in the front, and 15-inch rotors in the rear. So braking power, this has so much of it. So much of it. Another reason why it does so well on the Nürburgring, the brakes and the tires.
How does the suspension feel when you drive around potholes from Ray Alvarez?
Firm, very firm. In Strada, it's not as bad. If you're in Sport or Corsa, it gets really kind of nasty, but it's pretty firm. I wouldn't want to daily drive it, except that it looks awesome. But the transmission and the suspension would be reasons why I wouldn't want to daily drive it. But if you can afford this car, you probably have another 40 other cars that you could drive on a daily basis. Okay, so that is a correction. That was a mistake on my part. It's got this is the first of 800. It's one of 800 in production. So thank you for that correction. I do make mistakes, and that was one of them. So one of 800,
Okay.
not first of 800. It's still cool. There's only 800 in production. But that's a carbon fiber plate. That's pretty rad.
Why is there a variant of sorry. Why there is a variant of Lamborghini SVJ
If there is a variant, I don't believe so. I think the SVJ is the last of the Aventadors, and it's the most exclusive of the Aventadors. So I don't think there's a special variant on top of that. Pretty sure it's the only one. It's the only variant at this state. If that makes sense.
Okay, and then it's from Sarah Ross. I keep sharing your channel. I feel bad.
Oh, thank you.
Good and premium your cars and less subscribing.
I know. We got to grow it. But you're helping by sharing the channel. You're really helping. So thank you. We'll get there.
Okay, last one from Alina 750. You have to launch it sometime. I mean launch control.
Yeah, I know. Not in this video because Christina will just throw up. But maybe in the POV drive. Maybe we can work that in the POV drive. I think we can. So yes, and the review probably. So yeah, look forward to those. POV drive, walk around, review, all that's coming on the channel. Christina keeps being like, back away, dude. But I'm having to like yell to make sure that you can hear the car so loud. So that is the Aventador SVJ Roadster, one of 800, not the first of 800, my mistake. And this paint job is $14,800. It is Verde Scandal, and this is a very special car. It's the last of the Aventadors, and the most special, if you ask me. So thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to check out the other videos on the channel that are coming on this car and others.